The Book of Life follows one soul across lifetimes, from Eden, Egypt, Ireland, and the ancient Pacific, all the way to modern New Zealand. Through myth, memory, trauma, love, and rebirth, this powerful memoir blends ancestral storytelling with real-world survival, childhood hardship, spiritual awakening, healing, and an unbreakable vow to God. It is a story of courage, reincarnation, identity, and a woman who refused to give up, unless it was to God himself. The Book of Life. From the beginning, the story was never just one lifetime. It began long before this. I remember waking in a garden full of glowing fruit, soft grass, and quiet streams. The man there called himself Adam. He told me I existed for him, that my name was Eve, and that I must never eat from his tree or I would die. But one day, a stranger spoke gently to me. He told me the fruit was not the fruit of death, it was the tree of life, meant for me. My real name, he said, was Life, Lilith, not wife, but life. When I ate the fruit, I became fertile, and my boobs grew bigger. Adam ate it too, but instead of getting big boobs and looking sexy, he became afraid and suffered from fear, shame, and blamed others, becoming ungrateful and violent. When he later struck me and left me dead, that was only the end of one life, not my soul. I opened my eyes again somewhere else entirely. My next life was in ancient Egypt. I lived as a woman named Nephara, surrounded by gold light, incense, and quiet beauty. But a black snake hidden in my jewelry basket struck me, placed there by my closest friend. As I collapsed, she laughed and said, "Got you." This is the story about my journey to the underworld. My third life was in Ireland. I was Mary, living in a stone cottage near a green coastline. My husband Brian was gentle. Our baby boy, William, was the center of our world. One peaceful day, knights in shining armor arrived without warning. One of them drove a spear through my skull. My body was thrown over a horse. Brian searched for me for years, but they lied, saying I had run away to become a nun. They even commissioned a painting of me, when I was dead, so he would think I was happy, where I was. They wanted him to just move on, but he searched for me forever. Then, I awoke again. I opened my eyes as Niwa, daughter of a pale-haired woman named Ehu, on a small Pacific island. The ocean was my first memory, not crashing waves, but breathing. My childhood was shaped by two brothers. Kahuna, the elder, harsh, powerful, and obsessed with control. And Ra, the younger, gentle, patient, and full of quiet strength. Kahuna kidnapped my mother, believing she could bring back the dead. Ra returned from Oahu, and the moment he saw her, he wanted to save her and set her free. We fled with Ra to Oahu, where his new wife Papa welcomed us with warmth and open arms. Soon she bore children, Ulu, 2, and Tawhidi, each born with gifts, strength, and signs of future greatness. I grew up among them, a witness to their destinies. The taboo night. By the time I was 18, Kahuna demanded something from Ra, something dark. He commanded that Ra sleep with me on a taboo night, forcing a child of peace. Papa was exiled to another hut so she could not protect me. Ra did not want to hurt me, but Kahuna's power was absolute. The deed was done. Afterward, Ra and Papa's young son, Tane, saw what had happened and was traumatized. Papa returned, saw the brokenness, and we cried in each other's arms. Both she and I soon discovered we were pregnant. On the same morning, I gave birth to a baby boy. And Papa gave birth to twins, Homi and Rongo. Believing my son dead at first, I laid him on the sand and walked away to end my own life. But Papa's son Ulu found the baby still breathing and brought him to her. She carried my child home with her newborns. When Kahuna returned to demand the child of the taboo night, we fled. We took his war canoe and sailed across the ocean. Kahuna followed and took my infant son to raise with priests on a distant island. They named him Matariki. I remained hollow without him. Years passed. My son Matariki grew into a voyager, learning the stars and the sea. He met Rona, my young daughter, who I had later on, though neither knew the truth. When he sailed with his brothers, they discovered a new land rising from the ocean, New Zealand, shaped by volcanic fire. Its steep cliffs and cold winds were his legacy. Matariki searched for me, sailing to Niue, where I lived in a cave. In the darkness, not recognizing him, I struck him with a stone, believing him a threat. When I learned it was my son, I held him and wept, believing I had killed Maui, the navigator, the trickster, the one who slowed the sun. Then came this life. I was born in 1985 in Whangarei, New Zealand. I grew up under strict religious teachings, survived violence, family abuse, poverty, fear and human rights abuses. I saved my mother's life at 10 years old. I was baptized and ordained as a minister, at the age of 12. I learned music and martial arts. I moved homes, cities, and schools. I faced being different, shame, and mental health struggles. I became a wife, a mother, a student, a fighter. I survived police cells. I survived addiction. I survived being an escort. I survived voices, visions, and the war inside my mind. I became a support worker. I cared for my mother through Alzheimer's and lockdowns. My lungs healed after a near-fatal diagnosis. My mind became clear after years of battle. And above everything, I kept my vow to make God smile every day. The truth of it all. Across Eden, Egypt, Ireland, the Pacific, and to the underworld, New Zealand, one truth follows me. My story didn't end me. It built me. This is the book of life. My journey, my vow, my survival. If you would like the full illustrated edition of the Book of Life, simply click the link. Your journey begins with one